I think it's really fascinating what you mentioned about that. It's not just the VA thing, it's a society thing. That as a society, right, we prioritize or idolize certain people over other people and kind of lose sight of what's important and who's actually, making the sacrifices on ground. And I think that's something that we have to deal with ourselves internally, and then our leaders will reflect that mentality eventually. I do want to ask you, you mentioned that uh, a lot of veterans experience mental health problems while they're in service, and they kind of sometimes question their place in their roles during the war. Did you ever question your place in your purpose in Iraq or Afghanistan when you were conducting these combat troops, and did you ever think that what you were doing was, did you ever question what the morality of what you were doing?
Never, not once. I knew why I was in those places. I knew why we were in those places, and I agreed, and I still agree with American troops deploying to Iraq and Afghanistan, because when it comes down to it, and this is barring politics, I don't, I'm not political. I am not a Republican. I am a Democrat. I'm sorry, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an American, period. That's it. And I'm a patriot of this country. Doesn't matter what party you belong to. Personally, I think we should get rid of all the parties, because when you start out a conversation by acknowledging that you're different, you're already agreeing that you're not going to accomplish a goddamn thing. So I always agreed with our decision to go to those places because there are people suffering in those places, and they were suffering at the hands of horrible leadership. And in Saddam Hussein's case, evil leadership. And so I think it's good that we went to those places. I just think we did it wrong, to be honest with you. I Afghanistan became the forever war. I deployed to that place for the first time in 2004 as a brand new operator, and I went back at the end of the war, in 2014. Uh, Same stomping ground. I'd been a couple of deployments before that, and nothing had changed. So it wasn't until after I retired from the SEAL teams that I began to question. And it was never a question of was it morally right that we invaded Iraq and Afghanistan, because I believe that we were morally right by doing that. All of my questions after I retired revolve around, okay, now what was all of it for? What did we accomplish? What did we change? I can't tell you one thing that we changed. I can't tell you one way that we made Iraq or Afghanistan better, because those places are exactly the same, but I can tell you approximately how many funerals I've attended over the years of people that I cared about a whole lot, and people that gave their lives for this country in those places. So those questions didn't really start to develop for me until after.